classifications, I
Yeah.
think that the
Anything
types
you
of
know about it?
oxygens or oxides in carbon,
Carbon 2 oxide or
like
carbon 4 oxide.
Okay.
carbon monoxide.
Okay, fine. So,
Component of carbon and
okay, fine. So that means you have an idea of what oxides of carbon is. Simply put, when you say carbon, oxides of carbon, those are carbons, right, that have in them oxygen. Okay, so carbons that have in them what oxygen, and they are basically of two different forms. We are going to look at that later. So, introduction. Carbon forms two stable oxides. What are the two oxides of carbon? You have the monoxide, in which its oxidation state is +2, and the dioxide, in which the oxidation state is +4. So the first one, which is called monoxide, we call it CO, or we call it carbon monoxide. The oxidation state of carbon there is 2. If you go back to calculation of oxidation number, you get to realize that when you want to compute the oxidation state of carbon monoxide, to get 1. So that's why we call carbon monoxide carbon 2 oxide. And if you look at the oxide, carbon dioxide is called carbon 4 oxide, simply because the oxidation state of carbon is +4. It's preparation of carbon dioxide. How is carbon dioxide prepared in the laboratory? So, let's talk about the laboratory preparation of carbon dioxide. This was first observed by von Helmont towards the end of the 16th century. He was the first person to come about the idea. In 1755, a scientist by name Joseph Black was the first scientist to prepare carbon dioxide or carbon 4 oxide in the laboratory by reacting dilute acid with calcium trisulcarbonate 4. So if you recall, in some of the things we've done before in acid, base and salt, in acid we said that one of the properties of acid is that acid reacts with metallic carbonate to give us carbon 4 oxide. If you remember vividly, one of the properties of acid is that acid reacts with metallic carbonate to liberate CO2, carbon 4 oxide. So that procedure or that property can be used as a technique or as a method for the preparation of carbon dioxide. So one of the ways by which you can prepare carbon dioxide is simply reacting any dilute acid, right, with calcium trisulcarbonate 4, which is called MABO, right? So let's look at how that equation can be formed. You can see that how is carbon 4 oxide then collected? Carbon 4 oxide is collected over water by a process we call downward delivery, or by a process called downward delivery of gas, because carbon 4 oxide is denser than air and soluble in water. The solubility of carbon 4 oxide is very minimal, so that's why sometimes you even say it is insoluble, but it is actually soluble, but the solubility is very slight. So solid carbon dioxide is called the dry ice, and it has a tendency of undergoing a process called sublimation. That is, it can change directly from solid to gas. We want to check some of the uses. What do we use carbon dioxide for in industry or home and so on and so forth? Number 1, production of carbonated drinks. It is extensive. Carbon dioxide is extensively used in the production of carbonated drinks. So many a time when you open your soft drinks, you hear a fizzing effect, effervescence, evolution of gas. The gas that is coming out from your drinks is as a result of carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is pressured into those drinks to make the taste to retain, or to make the taste of the drinks to freshen. Secondly, it's also used in fire extinguishers. Carbon dioxide does not support combustion, and it is denser than air. It is used for extinguishing fire. Because why do we use it for extinguishing fire? Can anybody tell us the reason? Why?
It is a heavy gas.
It's a heavy gas. Any other contrary answer or opinion? One type of extinguisher contains carbon dioxide under high pressure, and this is what we are talking about. This type of extinguisher, so when you press it, what will happen? You are going to see a whitish substance there. That whitish substance is called the dry ice, and the dry ice is carbon 4 oxide in solid form, and it is used for extinguishing fire. And, another form of existence of a fire extinguisher that it can be done by making a solution of sodium carbonate with sulfuric acid. This one is commonly used when they go in places where we have large fire accidents. and you see them pressing the knob of their host and making sure that they center that water, that solution, over the place where the fire is coming out in. So that process is different from this fire extinguisher that we know. So there are two different processes. The other one is made up as a result of two different solutions. Those are sodium carbonate, that is Na2CO3, sodium triisocarbonate 4, and sulfuric acid, which is called H2SO4, tetrasulfate 6 acid. So when the two mix together by striking the knob of the host, so there's going to be a mixture of the two solutions, sodium carbonate and H2SO4. So you can see that sodium carbonate is a metallic carbonate and H2SO4 is an acid. So when acid reacts with metallic carbonate, what happens? CO2 is going to be produced. So while that is done, the CO2 that is now produced is mixed with the liquid in form of its pressure. So when they press it and center it over the place where there is the accident of the fire, the CO2 present in it is going to serve as a cover up and then extinguish the fire. So exactly. So we have, it is also used as a refrigerant or coolant. We use it basically also for preserving perishable foods such as ice cream. What they actually use in large industries where they make ice creams is actually dry ice, which is solid carbon dioxide or carbon 4 oxide. So we also use this same dry ice also as a coolant in nuclear reactors. Can anybody remind me of the 3 uses of carbon 4 oxide that you said?
It can be used as
It's
extinguisher.
used to make carbonated drinks. It can be used to make extinguisher.
Drinks. It can be used as a refrigerant or coolant.
To make fire extinguisher.
Thank you very much. That means you're following. So let's proceed. Now